In this video, we're going to discuss and review the Alien 40th Anniversary Ash and Kane figures from NECA. Welcome to the Swearwolves Horror Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Brett. If you're a returning subscriber, I just want to thank you for coming back. If you're new to this channel, I want to thank you for stopping by. Please consider clicking both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell below. We upload videos on a semi-regular basis in which we review anything and everything horror, from action figures and toys to soundtracks, various collectibles, video games, you name it. And today we're talking about these Alien 40th Anniversary figures from NECA. Now this is part of Wave 3. This is the Ash and Kane figures. They did also have another Xenomorph, I believe, in this wave, in this line of figures. They're coming out with Wave 4 soon, which will be the last one. That will have Lambert and Ripley and another alien, another Xenomorph. But the Lambert and Ripley are going to be in the compression suits. And then that's it for this line of figures. But they are cool. I'm not collecting all the different Xenomorphs. I have an Ultimate and I have the prototype. But I don't need to have all those. I have limited space and I just want to complete the crew, get the Xenomorph, and call it a day. So let's look at the packaging right here. We'll start with the Kane one. Both the packagings are actually really similar, so we won't go through them too much in detail on the second one. But you got the Alien logo here. It says Kane, it says warning. Got a nice window packaging here showing you the figure. These would look good displayed if you weren't going to open them, or if you had two, one for display out of the box and one for display in the box. They would look really good. On the side, we got the Alien logo, picture of the figure, Kane, and then the Alien 40th Anniversary logo right there. And on the back, another picture of Kane kind of posed with the alien egg. Nothing good comes out of this. Alien logo, and then Kane. And then it says on the back, "In space, no one can hear you scream." In a remote region of the galaxy, the United States space tug Nostromo, carrying a cargo of mineral ore, makes its return journey to Earth. The ship's crew, 5 men, 2 women, and a cat, are awakened from their hypersleep chambers when Mother, the onboard computer, monitors a strange transmission. According to company law, the crew must investigate any signal indicating possible intelligent life. What begins as a routine search mission quickly escalates into a nightmare of unimaginable terror when the crew discovers and brings aboard an extraterrestrial life form. At the bottom, it says the 40th Anniversary Collection. Collect them all year long. And then we have the multiple different Xenomorphs here. And then there's, of course, Dallas and Ash, Brett, Parker, and Ripley. These figures have been coming out since 2019, so I should say collect them all years long. I mean, 2019 was when the 40th anniversary was, but whatever. It's okay. We're getting them. So that's the Kane figure in that packaging. And then, of course, the Ash figure is very similar, just different figure, different name. And different pictures, of course. But what this says on the back is the same. And then instead of Ash, it has Kane right there. So that's the packaging. Like I said, it looks really good. Why don't we go ahead and open these up and give them a proper review? All right, I got the figures open. Before we get to the figures themselves, I just want to go through all the accessories. There are quite a few of different accessories that came with both figures, so I'm going to quickly kind of go through these and talk about them a little bit. First, we have Kane's accessories, and these are these 5 things right here. He's got somewhat of a gun here, like a laser pistol that he did or did not use, actually. But you can see the detail on that. Looks like it's kind of made out of metal. It's got a little aging to it, or this brushed metal look to it, with the red on the back, the scope on the top. Looks really good. Really fine detail. It's very small, as you can see, but there is very fine detail on it, which gives it a nice appearance. He also has a flashlight right here. Again, with that kind of aged metal sheen to it. And it's got these worn out corners that it has here. It just looks old and aged and really cool. Really look good. And it's got this like faux leather strap right here for the handle. And then, of course, it looks like a flashlight that someone would just hold. So that's really good. Also comes with this alternate head. Now, this alternate head goes in conjunction with this helmet right here, because when the face hugger leaps out of the egg and crashes through his helmet, he, of course, has it attached to his face inside. So this will be really cool. That's how I probably am going to display him. But let's just take a look at this alternate head here. So you can see he's got the face hugger on him, and it's wrapped around his old head and his neck. And there is his head at the bottom right there. I'm going to probably use that when I display him. And here's more of the detail on the helmet that has the busted out front piece here. And you can see how that compares to the regular helmet. The regular helmet that comes with the figure. So pretty much the same thing, except for the glass dome is got a hole in it on this one, and this one doesn't. But some good detail on the back here. And then to get those, they kind of replace one another. They're interchangeable, I should say, on that bottom base of the helmet. So this bottom base is separate. It's got this kind of like copper look to it. It looks like aged, rusted almost. It's got that green patina in it. So it looks like it's been sitting there for quite a while, which is really cool. Like, not everything is crisp and pristine, and that's part of the charm of this movie, is it's not all clean or Star Trek-y. Anyway, these two helmets are the same. They have that aged look on them as well to match that base of the helmet. Really good detail, again, with all of these figures and all these accessories. Just really good attention to detail in how in the small parts of it. And that is even more prevalent in the accessories that come with the Ash figure here. He's got a lot of accessories, so let's kind of go through them. He's got this rolled up newspaper here, or magazine rolled up, I think it's a newspaper. He uses this to attack Ripley at the end of the movie, spoiler alert. So that's kind of cool that they included that. And then these are just various different tools that the character used when he was working on, I'll try to hold them in such a way that you can see them, when he was working on Kane and trying to get facehugger off of him. So he used these various different tools here. Some really good detail on that. I mean, you don't really see these tools too up close in the movie that I remember, and even if I did, I wouldn't know what they look like. So these look really good for what they are, and they're just minuscule tools. Here's another one. It's like a clamp right here, where he extracts some various different blood from the alien, maybe acid blood, but it just looks like, you know, futuristic tools that a doctor might use. And here's another one, yet even smaller clamp. Just how tiny everything is. And then sort of this, like, what is this, like a wand or a prod or something? Also got a glass of milk. Various different hands to hold the different items. NECA always does a good job with these hands and the details, the small details of the hands and the nails and the palms. So everything just looks really cool with those. Then, of course, when Ripley finds out that he is an android and he gets his head chopped off and all this milky milk substance that keeps him alive comes spewing out, and his head is just there. There's all the mechanics of his head, and it's just kind of laying there. And Ian Holm, of course, is the actor who portrayed Ash, and he did a wonderful job at that, but his head is just kind of like, and this is exactly what it looks like. So really good detail on that. We'll talk about the head sculpt in just a second when we review the figure, but I did want to point out how good this looks, and I really like this. It's kind of like two figures in one almost, because you get the after, because you can't really put that on his head. Let's move on to the figures themselves. Why don't we go ahead and start with Ash, and here he is. And like I said, portrayed by Ian Holm so well, and just a really good job of the face sculpt of this character. I really like it. It looks like the actor, Ian Holm, but just really good attention to detail on that face sculpt. Just the eyes look really cool too. The closer you get to it, you can see all these great details that they did. The molding. The articulation, the head goes left and right. It's kind of on this ball joint, side to side, up and down. Got a ball joint in his arm. His arm goes out, goes up, goes back, all the way around. It's got these double elbow joints here, which can have you bend the arm a little bit better. Like that. The wrist turns, and it does bend a little bit as well. There is no really bend in the waist. He's wearing a jumpsuit, and it's kind of a one piece, so you really don't get that. You do get a little bit of a bend forward in the waist, but you don't get any of that twist right there at the waist. You do get it in the hips. He can bend down because the legs, of course, are on a ball joint, but you can move them out, back and forth. The knees bend, and the feet twist out and go up and down. Well, this one doesn't really move that well, but they do go up and down a little bit. Stands really well. Right out of the box, I was able to have him standing without any support. Again, I always put my figures on figure stands, but you really don't need them. Although he does have two peg holes right here, so you can set them on one of those NECA figure stands, or you can get another figure stand if you wish. Details, we already talked about the head sculpt and how good that was. The jumpsuit just looks great. It looks like it's made out of cloth. It's this soft rubber that feels really good. But they did such a good job in doing the details of the folds in the pockets area, in the pocket area, just in the jumpsuit itself up here at the top. You can see the folds on the back side too. Just looks really good. It's got a belt on around the waist area, but you can see all the different details in the shirt. And he's wearing this long sleeve undershirt, which looks really good. And he's got these different patches on, which they just did a really good job for as small as they are. You can still see that there's some detail on there. Going down to the legs, see that there's more of that great detail on that jumpsuit, and down to his white boots. Overall, this is a really great figure. Looks really good. Standing up right there. Like I said, he stands really good. It's just going to be a really good addition to the collection. Let's go ahead and talk about the Kane figure. Again, the articulation is pretty similar, although his head is not a head on a neck. It's a neck on a peg, if that makes any sense. And you can see that right here, because it's the neck will be taken off as well as the head, not just the head itself. So his movement is side to side, up and down, back and forth. It's the same, but it's not independent of the neck. It does have ball joint in that arm, which you can move back and forth. His elbow does bend. Does it bend? Yes, it does. The elbow does bend. I'm not going to bend this. You can see that there is an elbow joint right there. I'm not going to bend it. That is really tight, and I don't want to risk breaking it. But there is a joint right there. You can see it. The hands twist all the way around. In fact, the forearm twists around as well, like this. And then the hands bend. There is some movement right here in the torso. You can see right here is where it moves. So kind of that bend right there forward, but also you can turn back and forth. There is no movement in the hips, much like the previous figure. There is no movements in the hip area, but we do have movement at the waist with these ball joints in the legs. It doesn't bend that far over. You don't have that much movement. It does go out to the side, but going forward, kind of restricted because there's these pockets that block right there. First I thought those should go in the back, but they don't. They go in the front. But you can't bend him forward because of those. His knees do bend. Again, those joints are really tight. You can just hear that. It does have that swivel in the calf, and then the feet do turn out and bend up and down. So, despite the fact that he's got really tight joints, and I would caution anybody who gets any action figure, not even just from NECA, to be very careful when you're moving this kind of stuff, because depending on how long it's been sitting there, the figure, it could have tightened up through time or just be a tight fit regardless. So you don't want to just go in there all willy-nilly and snap an arm off, because then you'd have a broken arm. Let's talk about the detail on this figure. So the head sculpt looks like John Hurt, who played Kane, of course. Did a really good job of that, capturing his likeness. He's wearing this kind of helmet, or not helmet, just headgear, which would go, of course. Well, to get this helmet on, we need to take his head off, I think. Then this goes on, and then this goes on top, like that, right? All right. So this just doesn't fit over his head like this. We need to take his head off, put this collar on, and then put his head back on. That's kind of a pain in the ass. And then those tubes get stuck in to these holes right here on the helmet. I believe I had to go through that with the Dallas figure as well. What a pain that is, but I'm gonna have to do it anyway because I want to put this head on him with this helmet. So that's how I'm gonna display him, so we can go through that. Going down the line here, we see got all these detail. Of course, it says Kane. Just great detail in all the different buttons and electronics that he's wearing on his person. The shoulder pads, that headgear around to the back, like I imagine these are oxygen tanks. Different leather straps. And then the suit. There's another insignia right there on the pocket. So, and again, this figure is a very stable, sturdy figure. It's got some weight to it, and it stands really easily. Like right away, I was able to get him to stand. Didn't even have to do much. So I really enjoy that. But why don't I go ahead and get these guys displayed how I'm gonna, or get them set up how I'm gonna have them displayed, and then we'll be right back for our final thoughts. All right, before we do that, before I come back with my final thoughts, I did want to show you. So I popped his head off right there. We're going to take this neck piece and we're going to put that on like that. It's almost like a dog collar. Okay. And then we'll put his head on, his new head on through that. So you can see that piece. And then, of course, we'll put this new helmet on. So you can see what we're after right there. Pretty cool. All right, got a figure set up how I'm going to have them displayed in my cabinet, and I just got to say I really do dig these two figures. I am so happy to have them. I can't wait to get the Lambert, and then of course the other Ripley will be nice to have too, but just to have the whole crew of the Nostromo will be an accomplishment for myself, kind of completing that whole set. I love the movie Alien. I love these figures. I'm going to give them both 5 out of 5 Pamela Voorhees heads. If you like this video, please click the like button below. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed and you feel so inclined, click both that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. We're the Swearwolves Horror Podcast, and we do a weekly show in which we review horror movies. So please check us out by searching for The Swearwolves wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can also visit our website at theswearwolves.com. So, for The Swearwolves, I'm Brett. Hi, this is Brett with the Swearwolves. And when I'm not editing videos or creating content for YouTube, I just sit here and wait. And wait. If you like the video that you just saw, go ahead and click that button right there. And if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that other button right there. I'll wait.